This is the Stevie Wonder, Paul McCartney of this generation. You have to be a certain age, like me and Tony, to understand how funny that joke is. I'm Andy Stoddard. This is my dear friend Tony Lymon. We're talking to you through the magic of technology about how churches. We're in a very critical moment. You know, if you read the Bible, it talks about Esther when she's terrified in this moment, and Mordecai tells her, perhaps for such a time as this, you were placed in this moment. And so we as churches and as Christians find ourselves in an interesting moment, but how we can impact our culture and our moment through technology. And Tony is one of my best friends in the entire world. But even more importantly, I don't know anybody who knows more about technology and using it for the betterment of people than Tony Lymon. And so Tony, why don't you talk about kind of what you and I we've been kicking around, and I'll kind of lay out for pastors why this might be a good idea to do something like this.
Yeah, I've been noticing that, you know, with all of the social distancing and all of the, you know, shelter in place things that have come up, it's kind of an unsettling time. And, you know, I just think this is a moment where believers can get together and reach out in a time of need. I feel like we have technology at our disposal, and why not use it? I know we've kind of been thrown into this thing where you know, it's like a 1, 2, ready, go. Here we are. We've got to use it. And some of you may be as uneasy about using the technology as you are about this whole concept of social distancing and shelter in place. So I got to talking to Andy, and if any of you know either one of us, you know that we love to talk. And
Amen.
And so we just thought this would be a good way to kind of talk about the purpose of it. And I can give you some ideas of a quick and easy way to do it. This is some technology that I have used that I discovered a few years ago that is super easy. If you can operate an iPhone, if you can operate an iPad, it will, you'll find this a piece of cake. It's relatively cheap. I don't work for this company. I just want to offer just some information in this time of uncertainty.
And Tony, I think as you said, in this time we find ourselves at such an interesting time. Talk about technology in the church. Do you know who Leonard Sweet is? Does that name anything to you? Leonard
I don't
Sweet?
know that name.
Okay, a Christian writer, futurist. Unfortunately, he had a huge impact. I doubt he's going to watch this. He had a huge impact on Eddie Rester, which makes him definitely somebody that we should not trust.
Okay.
I heard him speak a few years back. And if you remember the story in the Bible where the woman was caught in adultery, and they bring her to Jesus, and Jesus goes down and writes in the dirt.
Right.
And Sweet has a very interesting perspective on this. He says, we always want to know, what did Jesus write? Sweet's point is, let's put to the side for a second. Let's go to this. He said, how many people do you think in Jesus' day could read or write? Probably very few.
Very few. I mean, you had the clerics and, you know, the clergy, and that was.
That's right. That's right. So here's Jesus, by showing that he's reading and writing, showing that he is using modern technology. And modern technology in Jesus' day was writing, you know, but for us, it's all these things that you're fixing to walk with us through. So as Christians, particularly as leaders, those who follow Christ, we have a great opportunity now to multiply our impact. I know at St. Matthew's, where I'm currently serving, we're in the grand scheme of Methodism, a pretty large church. We're having more people watch our worship videos and watch our worship services now than actually attend our service on Sunday. We're seeing
that's huge.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we're seeing huge impact, and I'm getting messages from all over saying, "Hey, thanks for this. It's great to watch this." And so on one hand, we can look at why this is important. This is an opportunity to multiply our impact in exponential ways that we couldn't expect. And this is not the way we may have planned on doing it, but it's giving us that push to do it. It's made us uncomfortable. I know if you go back and watch our first reviews at St. Matthew's, they weren't particularly good.
Right.
And so, I mean, because I was just trying to string it all together. I've got a great few guys who work with me. We've gotten to a real good level now, but I was not afraid to try something and fail. If we failed, let's try something else.
Right.
So we get the chance to magnify our impact. But secondly, Jesus said the greatest commandment is to love God and love neighbor. Paul says in Romans 13:1, said, let everyone be subject to the governing authorities, for there's no authority on earth except from God, and those authorities that exist have been instituted by God. It kills me not to worship on Sundays in my building. Tony, it kills me. It kills me. I want to be.
I understand.
Bad. But more than I want to be in a building, I want to shepherd my people. And I want to love my people. And I want to do what's best for my people. The word salvation in Greek could just as easily be translated as health and wholeness. I want to shepherd my people so that they can be whole spiritually, emotionally, physically. And right now, as much as I want to be in my building worshiping with my people, I more want to be the shepherd they need in this time and do what is best for them. And that means right now, that's worshiping online. That's what that means as a shepherd for my people. That's what that means, because I want them to be healthy and whole. And man, when we get back together on that first Sunday, when we're back in the house, man, it's gonna be crazy. We might have it's gonna be so exciting. We may have Methodists raising their hands.
I don't believe it.
We don't do that, Tony. We don't have all that emotion in our services. So
well, Andy, now, I think maybe this is the good that comes out of all of this, because I firmly believe I'm 47 years old, and
sweet, you got a couple of years on me. That's exciting.
Yeah, I got a few years on you. Not as many years as Eddie Rester, though.
Yeah, he's very close to retirement now.
137.
He was one of the first Methodist preachers ordained by Wesley.
Yes, but we won't talk about him yet.
No, exactly.
But I think that's the good that comes out of all of this, is that I think with time of doing things the same way comes complacency.
That's right.
And I think when we get used to doing the same things the same way, I think our reach and how we connect with people becomes ineffective. And I think we don't even know it.
That's right.
So
That's right.
I feel like this is a moment where we get to reset the whole thing, whether that be pastor to congregation, teacher to student, political leaders to constituents, civic leaders to their people in their town, whatever it is, mothers to daughters, parents to children, whatever it is. I feel like stopping the entire globe and having them sit with each other and focus on no one else but the people in their immediate surroundings.
That's right.
And I think the only way you could do that is to say, you know what? If you don't follow these instructions, you will die. I think and people still aren't doing it, even with that magnitude of it. But I think that's the good that comes of this, is it makes us reevaluate the way we go about reaching people as leaders and people who reach.
And every study you see now says that the fastest growing religious demographic in our world right now are the groups that are called the nuns, not the Roman Catholics with the little hats, but the NONES, nuns, those who have no professing religious affiliation. And so for us, it is, as you said, it's scary now in a lot of ways, because we're now living in an age which is becoming what they call post-Christian. Christianity is no longer the dominant language of our society in many ways. And so that means we have to adapt. And so that does not mean adapt the message, because Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. This is not about adapting the truth of the gospel, but what it is adapting the way we present it. And so, and we've done that for centuries. Go back and look at from the 5th century, how icons were the main way they told stories. Go to look Go to look at passion plays that emerged in the Middle Ages, to Wesley with outside preaching, to Billy Graham with the revivals, to contemporary music, contemporary Christian music. The church is always sought. Paul in Acts goes around Athens and says, hey, I see that you worship many gods, but right here, this altar to the unknown God is the true God. And Paul uses their own literature and their own poetry to convince them of the truth of Jesus Christ. So this is not about adapting the truth of the gospel, but it is about adopting how we present it. And I think as Christians, if we can lead into that, I honestly think this is a great opportunity for us to begin to impact folks that might not ever come into our church. But late at night, when the lights are off and it's just them and their thoughts, they know there's something deeper they were made for, that they're not finding in culture, not finding anywhere else. And so this is our moment. I think it's an opportunity. Now, I'm an optimist, but I think it's an opportunity.
Yes, I'm an optimist to a fault sometimes.
Yeah, we have to be. We got this. It's all good.
So I'm gonna talk to everyone who's watching this about a quick and simple program or app that I've found that I've used in the past couple of years. Any of you that have watched the Base Camp, Base Camp is a kind of youth leadership camp that is a civic outreach camp that happens over a week that Asbury United Methodist Church operates, and they invite churches from all over Mississippi to come in, and some from Louisiana as well, to come in, and for 1 week they get young people from 7th grade all the way through college and adults as well to pause what they're doing and to help people in need right in the community. And they have a worship service each night. And I have been helping with the worship service. And a couple of years ago, I wanted to see what we could do about getting it live using Facebook and YouTube and all that. So I stumbled up on this software called Switcher Pro. You can go to the App Store. I think it's available for Android, but I'm not like Andy Stoddard.
Oh, Android, man. Yeah.
Person.
I'm not a sheeple, man. I'm not a sheeple. Android.
I am number one sheeple. I'm an Apple nerd from day one. But the thing that I can assure you about this is that it's very easy to use. I don't work for this company. I'm not endorsing them for any reason other than I feel like it can help people with their outreach. It's incredibly easy to use. So it's Switcher Pro, I have to spell SWITCHER.
I'm glad you're spelling, not me.
I'm teaching spelling in homeschool right now. We're doomed. And it's right in the App Store. It is available for Android as well. And so the only thing you need is this software. And I think the subscription is $20 a month. And you need an iPad and an iPhone. Those are the only thing. Actually, you only need an iPhone. If you want to do just one straight camera angle, and you can do some pretty amazing things with it. So I'm going to show you from my iPhone what this is capable of and how incredibly easy it is to use. So this is basically what the app looks like.
So Tony, this is what your iPhone looks like right now. This is for somebody that's a new at this. This might be a little intimidating. This is simply your iPhone screen right now. We're looking at Tony Lymon's iPhone.
Exactly. You're looking at my iPhone that I've shared to this thing. And if you notice, there are little rectangles here that have media things. You see where it says stay tuned? That is what the person sees on the live broadcast.
So the top part is the live broadcast.
The top part is the live broadcast, okay, what everyone sees. The bottom part is what you get to choose from.
Gotcha.
So now, if you wanted to just go with the camera that's on your phone, if you notice in the upper left-hand corner, you see me talking. Mm-hmm. So all I have to do is just push that button, and it switches to that camera. Now there's a delay. There'll be a delay going from what happens to Facebook. It's, you know, just a few seconds, whatever.
Would you recommend they hold their phone when they're filming like this, or does it matter?
It doesn't matter. I would recommend holding it what we call portrait style, which is the straight up and down. Can you show that?
Yeah. So like this right here?
Like that.
Okay.
Yeah, and that way your screen will look exactly like this.
Gotcha. So for those of you that watch it, hold your phone up and down, not side to side.
Exactly.
When you're filming. Okay.
Now you can do it the other way. It just it makes it a little bit more, what you have to choose from, a little bit more cramped.
Gotcha.
Now, the next thing you would do is if you look down at the bottom, there's an icon that looks like a camera. I'm gonna press on that, and what that will show you are all of the cameras that are connected to your app. So right now, I'm just using the built-in camera that's on my phone.
Would these need to be connected via Wi-Fi, Bluetooth? How would they connect to each other?
What you would do is all of the phones, any phone that you want to connect and use as a camera, you connect to the same Wi-Fi that the main phone is on.
But if a church, so let's say this is a rural church in Bogota, for instance, my home, go Bobcats. But let's say they don't have Wi-Fi in their church. Could they just use their phone and the mobile data that they have to stream out that way?
You can create a hotspot.
Okay.
And it's a little bit more involved. And I'm going to click this other button. That's where we get into that. If you see the RLCC, that is where you would basically get the Wi-Fi from the or get the hotspot from the other phone.
Gotcha.
And you would just enter that in there. That's a little bit more complicated.
Okay.
But there are plenty.
There are options. Okay.
Yeah, there are plenty of YouTube videos on how to go through that.
Okay.
So all of your cameras would show up right here, your available cameras. You can hook up to 9 cameras to it.
Oh,
you can have 9 camera angles. I don't recommend that because, you know, unless Steven Spielberg is a member of your church, I don't know.
That way you could get the full 360 view of my face, which is what the public wants.
I don't know if that much Andy Stoddard is allowed by the law.
I think there is a law prohibiting it.
There's a limit on it. So now I'm going to go back. I'm going to click this star. Every time you want to go back to your main thing, you just go back to this star. Now, let's say you want to do a little screen that has stay tuned, or you're waiting for people to get online.
Yeah, because I'll say this as a pastor, I found it's good to go live a little bit before your service starts.
Right.
That way, because first it gives people time to tune in, but secondly, I mean, you want your online worship service to be worshipful. Exactly. And so just like people typically don't walk into church and start worshiping, they come in and start getting ready for it. We found that getting a couple minutes of prep gives people a chance to kind of start getting their souls ready to worship.
Yeah, you don't want to do like the Lymons like we do, where we just
I wasn't naming names. I'm just saying.
Minutes into the service, we won't do.
Well, I mean, that's Emily. Emily's the one. I know
it's not me.
No.
Yeah, I keep everything on.
Yeah, totally.
So let's say you want to have a a countdown or something like that. So I have built that right here, and I simply just click the button, and that's what shows up there. Now, the way I built that, or way I added that, is I clicked this blue cross down at the bottom, or blue plus sign, and then I can go to text graphics, and then I can go to titles, and then there's a list of things here that I can choose from.
Well, that's great.
Or I can go like your text here, and I can go here and just simply edit this text.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, I see that.
And go back and say, church service. Oops. Now I'm really like having a type.
I'm not going to comment, man.
Yeah,
I can't tell, and
everybody's
I got
getting to
fat
see
fingers. Yeah,
this
I'm not
in real
commenting.
time. Start soon. Oops. All right, so that was embarrassing for you to have to see that, but you can see now that I did that, it appears as one of my options of things to do on there, and then I just click on it. And obviously, you would go in and make the spacing right and all that.
Sure.
I just didn't want to embarrass myself further.
But you did. But you created that in literally 10 seconds.
In 10 seconds, and it was as easy as working on your working on your iPhone.
Yeah.
Let's say you have a graphic that you want to throw up that that is pertinent to, let's say this is the live feed right now. You're preaching and you want to show a graphic that's relevant to what you're preaching about. There are two ways you can do it. You can go to a full screen graphic by just clicking that. That's one of my options. Or I can go back to the camera and I can do what's called an overlay, which I would push this button right here and it would happen on top of it.
Okay. So you'd still be broadcasting, but you'd have the overlay. Literally, it would overlay your broadcast.
Exactly. And if I want that to go away, I just click it again.
Okay. So clicking it again gets rid of it. Okay.
Right. Now, if I want to do lower thirds, let's say you have a social media account that you want to talk about as well. I have that built down in my options and I just click that. And they're all graphic. They're already animated, and it looks very professional instead of just your 8-year-old kid sitting in the back of the room holding the camera.
And so you could put like your church Facebook page right there, and no matter where they're watching it, they could then go to your church page like that, and then not only get the additional broadcast, but also get other information you want them to know. Like if you're doing a daily devotional, or if you're doing email announcements, you could put them right there, and they could go on your Facebook page and like it that way. That's a great way to communicate.
Or if you want to have scripture as you're preaching come up down at the bottom, those are all options. And the main hub is the blue plus sign to build. You would build the stuff obviously before.
Sure. You don't be doing this on the fly.
Now you can do it on the fly, just like I'm doing. Like what I'm doing right now is not affecting the broadcast. All they see is what I put, whatever camera it's accessing now.
I see. So the camera's still going live at this point when you're fooling with this.
Exactly. Right? The camera's going live. So if I want to throw something in at the last minute, let's say I wanted to, no, I won't do that. Let's say I had I had a guest speaker that I didn't know was going to be a guest. The Spirit moved and someone.
You show up at St. Matthew's and I say, hey, our guest preacher for the day is Tony Lymon.
Exactly. Surprise. So I would go here and I could make this be.
Okay.
All right. And so I've built that. And now the services have been going the whole time. That you've been seeing what's happening on the screen, and then you bring me up to speak, and all of a sudden,
awesome!
Push that up.
Well, that's great.
And nobody had to see any of that stuff behind the curtain.
That's great. That's awesome.
So that's basically, if you have a video, let's say there was a mission trip that happened. I have a video that I put in this list of options, and I can just press that, and boom, now I have
awesome
live video, and then I can choose my overlays and say, hey, this was in London.
Oh, cool.
In April, which it actually was.
And something really cool about the overlay with that is, like, I found for my people, when we're singing, shockingly, not everybody has a hymnal at home or knows all the words to the lyrics.
Exactly.
So we've been going in and adding our lyrics, and that way people, when they're watching at home, can sing along with them. You know, we had a prayer specifically to the pandemic that we prayed a few weeks back, and I was able to share a link on the underneath to where they can go and pray that prayer every day if they want to.
Right, exactly. Now, if you want to get super geeky, I mean, I'm just showing you the basic things that you can do here, and I mean, you can see if you spent 30 minutes with this even before service started, and you had never gotten into it, it's pretty straightforward.
How would you suggest that do they need to have the church? Would it be helpful for a church to have a person like holding it, or a tripod? Like, what would you suggest be the best way to literally have the camera?
I would suggest, first of all, I would suggest having at least 2 cameras.
Okay.
I would suggest having one that is fixed, where you can get a wide angle of the entire pulpit or stage, whatever you call your main area.
We call ours the Thunderdome.
The Thunderdome. You know, if Mad Max comes up and you want to go beyond that.
That's right. There you go.
Then you could have different camera angles, and you can switch those camera angles.
Okay. And
you can actually do this. Let me see. All right. I'm going way into the nether regions. I'm going to do a split screen.
Oh, yeah, I saw that as an option. I saw the split screen earlier as an option.
So now, if I go to this and I hit split screen down here, and I go to this, and I click split. What? Hang on. It's been a while. Yeah. Hang on. All right, I'm going to get this.
You got it.
I can't do it. And I think you actually have to have 2 cameras.
And you're just doing one. That would make sense.
There it is.
Oh, there it is. Okay. There you go. It's 2 Tonys. Oh my goodness. There you go. Look out, world.
Yeah. So yeah, it's you can see where it says A and B, and it just,
I see.
Yeah.
Why is there no volume for the London film?
I have muted it.
Okay, that's what I figured.
Here it is.
Gotcha. Okay. I figured you'd muted it, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah, feedback, because my microphone is right next to my iPhone.
Sure.
And just like you saw, it just causes a weird feedback.
Yeah, sure.
But if you look up there, you see that microphone icon? That mutes the
I see it muted. I see it highlighted as muted. I see that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so when I want to just get out of that, I just click the video that I want to go away, and I click solo, and then it goes to that.
Okay.
And then I can go back to me.
Awesome.
And I can get real geeky and do transitions where if I want to do, let's say I want all of mine to be cross dissolves. And this is, please everybody, this is, don't go by me on this. I'm a geek and I like to do.
Yeah. So this, I think this is showing us that you can literally just go simple, one camera, speaking to it, recording, to as fancy as multiple cameras with fancy graphics and cross page. Exactly.
I would imagine do anything. Right. I would imagine that whoever's going to be doing this will probably be a geek like me.
Yeah.
But I also wanted to know that, you know, if brother whomever is brother whomever has an iPhone, you're now in charge of technology. This can happen.
That's exactly right. And I think that's key because there's some folks out there that are smaller rural churches that, like I've served for most of my ministry, that are gonna just be a pastor, and he or she is going to be able to just with their iPhone do this instantly and go live, and that's all they want to do. There's some folks out there that want to step up and really do something very geeky, and that I think both options should be celebrated.
Right, and that's what I like about this is that this isn't the cheapo option.
That's right.
Or it can be.
That's right. You know? That's right. Well, I like that because I know that I've always been the pastor. I'm geeky, but not as geeky as you. And
Mhm.
I've tried to do it all myself. And usually it has looked a level that I wasn't happy with the quality.
Right.
This is incredibly easy,
Right.
and it gives a really quality view.
Right.
Really quality.
Now, one thing that you do have to keep an eye on is that you need.
Oh, there you go. Look at that. Bible notification.
It's
Boom.
talking to us. One of the things you have to keep your battery power.
Oh, sure.
You need to be fully. I am terrible, famously terrible about charging things. To where it's a joke among my friends and I that I don't charge things up, and I'm guilty. So you do have to watch that. Now, I want to take everybody to the last little thing here, which is this page right here. This is where you can go in and set up whether you want to go Facebook streaming. And I'll take you through that, which I assume this is going to be the thing that most people do.
I will say, Tony, something I found just from St. Matthews is that we do both Facebook and YouTube. But there are a lot of folks still that are not on Facebook, believe it or not.
Right.
And Facebook can sometimes be a little quirky to get access to if you're not on it. So we've actually been doing Facebook and YouTube for that reason. To make it
I think YouTube is probably the most universally. Because you don't have to do anything.
You just show up, exactly.
Just show up. You come as you are.
That's right. Exactly.
It's open doors, open minds on YouTube.
There you go. That's right. Nice plug.
So if we want to go to YouTube, basically all you have to do, you have to have a YouTube account.
That's right.
And due to sudden increased usage, YouTube streaming is temporarily restricted to active subscribe. Okay, so I haven't set this up with my account yet.
And FYI, for those of you that have that don't, and they think, oh no, I can't do this. If you have a Gmail address, you've got a YouTube account. You've got a YouTube account. That's literally all it is. It's owned by Google. If you have a Gmail, you're good. Good point.
Some of you, if you are really fringe people, and you have LinkedIn or Twitch, I would strongly.
You can stream with LinkedIn.
Yes.
You know, as I think about where I want to find some good streaming content, God bless LinkedIn. That never crossed my mind.
No, not at all. And I would
now it will. Who knows?
Yeah, I wouldn't advise any of these just because they're so obscure. You're just gonna limit your outreach. Now, if you're super nerd, like beyond even my nerddom, you can go to custom RTMP, which means that you can create your own channel. And those are for if, let's say you want to embed it into your web page or something like that. But I'd stay out of that.
I would too, because we actually do that. We embed to our web page, but we do it through YouTube.
Yeah.
So YouTube gives you that same option without having to get into the weeds on that.
Yeah. So those are basically all of the things. I didn't go through all of this camera exposure stuff because you'll figure that out. You'll see that you can change the white balance and how things look, but I doubt anybody would want to get that detailed. So that's all there is to this thing. I do need to say that when you first connect, you need to specify what device is going to be doing what. What I was just showing you was the studio, but you need to specify if your phone's going to be a studio or a camera.
Gotcha. Okay.
And it'll ask you upon launch.
Okay.
You'll have to log into your account on each one.
Yeah. Do you have to? We have to sign up for an account when you download this app.
Yes, you will have to sign up for an account.
Okay.
There is a free trial. I think it's 14 days.
Okay.
But I would say do the free trial, and I guarantee you, if you use it once, you're gonna you'll love it because it's just it's a very easy route to looking pro.
I'll be very honest with you. I wish I'd have had this about 6 weeks ago, because this would have really made our life a lot easier at St. Matthew's, trying to figure out live, because we've been live streaming for a while, but only recently, since just the pandemic, have we really decided to step up our game and really get serious about it.
Yeah.
And this would have saved us some headaches a few months back. Absolutely. When we first were starting. So
yeah.
Well, and one of the things I've talked, as you said earlier, this is a chance for us to reset, and I think some really exciting things are going to come for the church. Once we get through this and we get to the other side, I hope churches are continuing to use technology like this to get the word out.
Right.
One of the things I've always told preachers, back when I was younger and had a lot less gray hair, I would go and do dog and pony shows about social media and technology for churches. One of the things I always told people was this. Let's say we were going to send you, let's say, Tony, you felt called by God to be a missionary to Germany. Well, guess what? You're going to learn German. Like, we're not just going to say, okay, Tony, go take your Mississippi accent and your Mississippi language to Germany. No, we're going to let you be immersive. You're going to learn German. If you were going to Brazil, we're going to teach you Portuguese. We're going to teach you the language of the culture you're in. Okay?
Right.
We live in a digital culture. Right. And we, particularly as leaders, have to be willing to learn to speak the language. Mm-hmm. And it's hard. I'm now at the point in my life where I don't naturally get all the newest technology. I know that Twitch exists. I can tell you nothing about it. I know that it exists. But I've tried to be conversant in what my people are conversant in. And, I've gotten a lot of stuff wrong in my life. I made a lot of mistakes. I'm an imperfect person. But I don't want to stand before God as a pastor whenever my time comes to an end until God said, yeah, God, I could have done more for the kingdom, or I could have reached more people with technology, but I just didn't want to. Right. I don't want to do that. I want to use every tool at my disposal to help more folks know about Jesus. And so this moment has created an opportunity for us to reach more people. And I hope that even when things return to normal, we continue doing things like this.
Right. And I think what we consider to be normal is going to be radically different.
I think it's a great point. I think it's a great point. It's going to be what the new normal looks like moving forward. Right. And it's only going to hasten some changes. Every study that shows you, we're both in our mid-40s. And so back when we were kids, churches would build huge sanctuaries to sit 50,000 people in it. Every study shows you now that millennials and Gen Z are desiring smaller opportunities for worship, smaller, more intimate. I mean, I know the church that you're part of, y'all do a lot of great things with small groups that we're trying to learn from. And so I think you're seeing people want the more intimate and more small. And so how do we as the church lean into that? And I think technology can be a great piece of that. I really do.
Right. Absolutely. Well, I think we are about to run out of time here.
This might be the shortest conversation we've ever had.
I know.
Only because we have a time limit.
We could be in a burning house and somehow find an hour.
It's exactly right. It's exactly right. Well, I am thankful for you and your friendship and all that you have taught me through the years. And I'm excited to see what God can do with you.
Me as well.